Star Island, a small island in Southeast Asia, was once a thriving nation. But after the apocalypse struck, due to energy shortages and a small population, it vanished completely from this world. Of course, some survivors did remain on the island later, only to be utterly wiped out by the massive toxic fog that surged from the Mist Valley. Today, this region has become entirely the domain of the Wulwan Empire. For thousands of nautical miles around Star Island, thick toxic fog blankets the area, deterring even coastal fish from approaching. Looking down from the sky, one sees a path extending from Star Island downward, piercing through layers of dense earth and rock. Tens of thousands of meters below the surface lies an immense, vast space, its depth and layers unfathomable. This is the Wulwan Empire, a realm ruled by lizard men. The empire's highest point is a crescent-shaped cliff. Seated upon its edge is the Grand Marshal of the Wulwan Empire, the Hades gatekeeper. He always preferred this vantage point, watching over his people's domain. Behind him, for silver armor generals, their presence commanding awe, waited respectfully. Commander, the scouts Shadow Phantom and Miatong have also fallen in battle. A silver armor general reported in a solemn voice. The Hades gatekeeper slowly raised his head. Upon hearing this news, his face betrayed no emotion, yet a flicker of anger clearly ignited within his deep, dark eyes. To lose 3 scouts, a silver armor general, and an entire special forces unit against a mere 6th-generation nation? Is it that the enemy is too powerful, or have you grown complacent over the years, forgetting the lessons of our ancestors? The Hades gatekeeper's voice was deep, as if echoing from a hollow vessel. Yet these seemingly casual words sent a chill through the 4 silver armor figures. The 4 silver armor soldiers immediately dropped to one knee, burying their heads low. It is our incompetence. The Hades gatekeeper did not turn to look at them. His gaze remained fixed upon the vast expanse of land stretching beneath his feet. The Wulwan Empire, much like the Nash kingdom Zhang Yi had once visited, was vertically layered. As far as the eye could see, the kingdom stretched endlessly downward, its depth unfathomable. Above, the sky was a dazzling, magnificent blue-violet, a sight so mesmerizing it could draw one in with a single glance. From an age beyond memory, when the Hades gatekeeper was still a child, he had always loved gazing up at this expansive sky. They called it the sky. Yet their history teacher had once told them this sky was an illusion, the true sky lay beyond the heavens. There, they were told, lay the rightful destination for the people of the Wulwan Empire. The Hades gatekeeper remained silent for a long while before speaking slowly. This isn't entirely your fault. The timing wasn't fully ripe. You weren't adapted to the environment above the dome and couldn't sustain prolonged combat. A silver armor soldier glanced at his comrades before speaking up. Though our first battle didn't yield the expected results, we've already uncovered the enemy's true strength. Please grant us one more chance. This time, we will utterly conquer that human realm. The Hades gatekeeper lifted his head, gazing upward at the sky, as if trying to pierce through the thick rock layers to see everything on the surface. He was curious, what would it feel like to walk beneath the sun? But the sun was something he had only glimpsed once, 2 years prior. It was a scorching sensation, making his body feel uncomfortable, yet instinctively drawing him toward it. Time cannot be delayed further. The day of the world's destruction will also grant the surface races their swiftest path to evolution. We cannot wait any longer. And we are not the only race coveting the world above the land. After uttering these words, the Hades gatekeeper rose from the cliff's edge. Though clearly of the same race, once he stood, his frame towered over the 4 silver armor figures, nearly twice their size. Beneath the black armor lay a perfectly sculpted, muscular physique. Every casual movement radiated explosive power. He turned to face the 4 silver armor warriors. This battle, he declared, I shall fight personally. The 4 silver armor warriors stared at him in stunned silence. You intend to fight personally? It's merely a minor human kingdom. How could it be worthy of your presence on the land? Moreover, with your power, you risk incurring the punishment of the one God. The Hades gatekeeper lowered his gaze upon them, speaking slowly. this world has already undergone a silent transformation. The sixth generation no longer receives divine favor, they have become a race forsaken by the gods. All is an inevitable outcome, unalterable. Their destruction is certain. The 4 silver armor warriors dared not voice dissent, yet they understood clearly in their hearts. Once this peerless Grand Marshal personally intervened, conquering any realm on the mainland would hold no suspense whatsoever. For his might transcended the comprehension of mere mortals. They had witnessed the mutants of Huashu Kingdom. Through intelligence relayed by dying soldiers, they knew of Huashu's most advanced weaponry and its most formidable mutants. But so what? What of Tianhai City's chaos? What of Xinjiang region's deepest foundation, Ho-Tu? Before their grand commander, they were all insignificant and weak. The Hades gatekeeper strode forward, meeting the reverent gazes of the 4 silver armor figures. Prepare the battle plans. The Wulwan Empire has set foot on the mainland. We must demonstrate our might to the world with the most glorious victory. A domineering light flashed in his eyes. We'll seize one of the most fertile lands on the mainland first. Let those tribes cowering in fear of heaven's wrath, too scared to crawl out of the dirt, witness this. The 4 silver armor officers immediately responded, "Yes, Commander." The Hades gatekeeper soared skyward, the 4 silver armor officers following closely behind as they flew toward the distance. Gazing down from the heavens, one could see the Wulwan Empire dotted with bizarrely shaped skyscrapers. These were not primitive structures as imagined, both their technological sophistication and aesthetic standards far surpassed those of humans on the mainland. Even mid-air, numerous small aircraft traversed fixed orbital paths. They arrived at a spire-like structure atop the Wulwan Empire's highest point, where they immediately convened a meeting to plan the second phase of the landing operation. The conference room was a vast circular space. Perhaps all races evolving in similar environments on this planet shared analogous needs, resulting in broadly comparable architectural styles. At the center of the chamber stood a massive circular table. The walls were entirely transparent, offering a clear panoramic view of the entire city. Outside, soldiers clad as green armor warriors stood guard, wielding white weapons. In the distant sky, aircraft of various sizes flew by intermittently. The Hades gatekeeper stood at the front of the conference room. On either side of the circular table, 4 silver armor generals and an adjutant clad in white battle armor stood in neat formation. Projected onto the table was a clear image of Huashu Kingdom, along with surrounding maritime powers, all precisely marked. Among the silver armor general, the one designated by Huashu Kingdom as blood-tied, extended his right hand and began his introduction to the Hades gatekeeper. Following the last war, we possess a thorough understanding of the capabilities of this nation known as Huashu Kingdom. Their technological level has reached a considerable height, enabling them to wield a weapon of immense power capable of striking us from the skies or the land. This poses a certain threat to us, but as long as we confine the battlefield to their core territory and respond cautiously, they will find it difficult to launch effective attacks against us. The Hades gatekeeper inquired, "What is its destructive power?" Blood-Tide replied, "It would inflict considerable damage upon the 4 of us." The Hades gatekeeper lost interest. "No matter." His gaze swept across the map, lingering over each region like a predator hunting its prey. "I want to know where the one who killed Scout Zheng Yi and annihilated the entire Special Operations Unit is." At these words, the 4 silver armor figures present grew visibly uncomfortable. This battle was supposed to end with a spectacular, decisive victory. After all, on the other 4 battlefields, they had devastated their targets to terrifying degrees, slaughtering countless human soldiers. Yet in Tianhai City alone, their brother unit had suffered a major setback, a total annihilation. For the Wulwan Empire, this was an unspeakable disgrace. The Hades gatekeeper looked at them coldly. His adjutant spoke up, "Right here, Lord." A small coastal city. He extended a hand, pointing to Tianhai City's location. The 3D map instantly zoomed in on that area. The Hades gatekeeper narrowed his eyes, his gaze fixed intently on that spot. You mean to say that an entire reorganized special operations unit of ours failed to capture a single enemy city and was annihilated? The expressions of the silver armor officers darkened further. The adjutant could only reply helplessly, "Yes, Commander." The Hades gatekeeper nodded, then pointed directly at Tianhai City. "Then our next battle will begin with a breakthrough here." He would personally lead the charge, demanding victory achieved in the most spectacular fashion. It must be a crushing, decisive defeat of one of humanity's most powerful nations. Only thus could they conceal the humiliation of their last battle and demonstrate the might of the Wulwan Empire. The 4 silver armor officers offered no dissent. In their eyes, once the Hades gatekeeper moved, wherever his blade pointed, all human forces would be utterly annihilated. "Then how shall we execute the battle plan?" Blood-Tide inquired. "Currently, within the lands of Huashu Kingdom, the only cities truly worthy of our time are Xinjing and Tianhai. As for the other regions, another wave of well-prepared assaults will utterly annihilate them all." The Hades gatekeeper fixed his gaze upon Tianhai City and Xinjing City before casually remarking, "No need for such trouble. After the first wave of war, they've grown wary of us. Splitting our forces now could see you meet the same fate as the 5th Division. Follow me to this coastal town." The Hades gatekeeper clenched his fist, as if determined to crush Tianhai City in his palm. First crush Tianhai City, then strike directly at Xinjing. Exhaust every ounce of strength to slash their sharpest blades. Then this nation will fall effortlessly. As he spoke, a profoundly dark gleam flickered in his eyes. He vaguely recalled that incident 2 years prior. It was the first time he'd been roused from his slumber to descend to the surface. For countless ages, the Wulwan Empire had never ventured beyond its borders. Its first contact with the outside world had been led by him, the Empire's Grand Commander. His heart had once been filled with dread, harboring profound reverence for the unknown world above the skies, fearful of encountering some powerful and terrifying race. After landing, even clad in armor, he felt the sun's scorching heat. And he felt the frailty of humanity. They were as weak as insects, easily crushed under the hand of the Hades gatekeeper. Had it not been for a vast, unseen force warning him, or perhaps a playful amusement at the insects, he could have annihilated them all on the spot. Among that group, one human youth left a profound impression upon him. With just a fleeting glance, he remembered that youngster possessing an exceedingly rare space ability and an exceptionally sharp vigilance. He had utilized sacred remnants discarded by the Wulwan Empire, accidentally breaking through his life tier to reach the 5th level. That aura belonging to the Wulwan Empire also sparked a hint of curiosity in the Hades gatekeeper toward the youth. Yet he never imagined that in just 2 short years, the youth's progress would be so astonishingly rapid. If he and his race were allowed to continue growing unchecked, it might only be a matter of years before the Wulwan Empire's landing operation faced immense obstacles. The world beneath the surface was far from the peaceful place imagined. The Hades gatekeeper pressed both hands on the table, his gaze piercing through the transparent walls of the conference room to observe the outside world. Over endless ages, they had endured near-catastrophic disasters that threatened their very existence. Those clinging to existence, surviving as remnants in this world, could only pray daily for divine mercy while seeking opportunities in the cracks. They too desired to live with dignity, to become a race blessed by the gods. Therefore, this opportunity, the one they had waited so long for, must be seized. Prepare for the second expedition. The departure time is set for tomorrow night. The Hades gatekeeper crossed his arms, issuing the battle command with an authoritative tone. With the might of the Wulwan Empire, such preparations required little time to complete. In this age ruled by ability users, a force of several hundred elite warriors could shatter a vast human kingdom. For the future of the Wulwan Empire, declared the Hades gatekeeper. His adjutant and 4 silver armor officers bowed their heads in unison. Hands crossed over their chests, they responded with solemn resolve, for the future of the Wulwan Empire. A more brutal war was about to begin. Above Star Island's Mist Valley, countless satellites from around the globe fixed their gaze upon this spot. From the distant reaches of space, the most meticulous surveillance was being conducted. Knowing the enemy would emerge from here made reconnaissance considerably easier. The power of modern technology was no mere ornament. Midnight, the darkest hour, was when they believed the Wulwan Empire's forces were most likely to appear. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout Huashu Kingdom's satellite monitoring station. All personnel stared intently at the large screens before them. Out of the thick, dense fog, a violent storm erupted, sweeping through everything in its path. Even knowing humanity was on guard, the Wulwan Empire forces showed no inclination to conceal their approach this time. They flaunted their might, for this time, it was the Grand Marshal of the Wulwan Empire himself who led the charge. Countless factions across the world simultaneously picked up this intelligence. Within the Huashu Kingdom, alarms sounded immediately across all major regions. Zhang Yi's eyes instantly sharpened as he clenched the fist hidden behind his back. I wonder where they'll choose to strike next. Could it be Tianhai City? Yet the next moment, he turned resolutely. Everyone assembled immediately. Zhang Yi wasted no words. Following the countless rehearsed scenarios, he commanded, execute. Mu Yan instantly activated her shadow space, drawing everyone except Zhang Yi, Flower, and Liang Yu into the alternate dimension. She then emerged to gather all personnel within the spherical fortress. These individuals were the elite forces Zhang Yi had pre-selected from various shelters. Among them were official members and reserves of the Volt Shadow Troop, along with elite talents like scientists, engineers, chemists, and agronomists. Combined, there were roughly 1,000 people. As for the others, Zhang Yi had no time to attend to them. He could only direct them to take refuge in underground shelters 100 or 2 meters deep. There, even the arrows of the Grim Reaper of Love could not reach them. However, if war truly erupted centered on Tianhai City, the battles between numerous epsilons could still kill them. Zhang Yi could do little more than try to protect a portion of them, preserving the spark of humanity. After completing these tasks, he soared into the sky. Beneath him lay the colossal Tianhai fortress. Zhang Yi issued commands through his smart device. Transfer mode, activate. The next instant, the earth beneath them rumbled violently. The massive base began to rise slowly from its foundation. It turned out that even before constructing this base, back when it was still a shelter, Zhang Yi had contemplated relocating the entire refuge. At that time, his vision stretched far into the future, even considering the possibility of glacial melt submerging Tianhai City. Thus, from the very beginning, he envisioned a mobile shelter. The subsequent Tianhai fortress inherited this feature, never being permanently anchored underground. After activating the mechanism, the entire Tianhai fortress was lifted upward. Zhang Yi unleashed his dimensional ability. Everything under heaven unfolded, transforming into a colossal dimensional gate that slowly absorbed the entire Tianhai fortress. Indeed, even before the battle commenced, Zhang Yi had already prepared his escape route. As for the Tianhai City cannons and city defense snipers, with the satellite-guided space-based weapon of the Xinjiang and East Sea region now capable of targeting them, these conventional weapons were no longer indispensable. The colossal Tianhai fortress sank slowly into the dimensional space. Among the gate of 3,000 realms, Zhang Yi concealed it in the deepest recesses, ensuring it remained undamaged during the ensuing conflict. Then, within the wartime group chat channel of Huashu Kingdom, he uttered a single sentence. Chaos, mysterious goddess, Cheong Chi, combat preparations complete. Star Island. Led by the underworld gatekeeper, they appeared openly and directly in the dead of night. The moment they materialized, they headed straight for Huashu Kingdom. Their target, Tianhai City. Over in Xinjiang region, within the newly constructed Earth God's Temple, Guanlonghua sat calmly in her chair, clad in black robes. For at this moment, no one knew whether the Wulwan Empire's target was a specific region or, as last time, an all-out assault on the entire Huashu Kingdom. Beside her stood Shang Daowen and Zongyue. Within the Earth God's Temple, all 36 heavenly spirits plus several Dragon Guardians captain-level mutants were present, including Li Yang. Heavenly Jet Star Daixing stood ready to activate his ability, enabling real-time deployment of all Huashu Kingdom forces. To counter this large-scale war, troops must be dispatched immediately to halt the invaders. Otherwise, even the slightest delay would bring unimaginable catastrophe to an entire region. Maintain continuous tracking of their coordinates. Their movement speed is too fast. Space-based weapons can't lock onto them. Long-range strikes are impossible unless someone can slow them down and prevent their high-speed advance. They're still moving, and their direction isn't northwest. Most likely, they're heading toward the East Sea region and Jiangnan region. Is there a chance they're bypassing these areas to strike other regions? Impossible. Given the Wulwan Empire's offensive tactics, they won't spare any obstacles along their path. Intelligence flowed frantically. Tonight, across the entire planet, no major power could rest. Thunder God Purin, Alexei Ivanov sat silently beneath the eaves, facing the wind and snow. His face bore no expression, not even the excitement or fear one might expect before battle. He appeared utterly expressionless, yet he was a man of profound reliability. Tianhai City. Newton stood clad in dark battle armor, his right hand gripping the massive hand cannon Atheist, which seemed almost alive. Behind him, over 100 members of the Sea Wolves Commando stood with stern expressions, awaiting the enemy's arrival. Their target is Tianhai. Newton gazed into the distant night sky as the cold wind swept past him, ruffling his neatly combed hair. At that very moment, he wasn't the only one who realized this. Perhaps everyone understood that the enemy's primary target could only be either Tianhai City or Xinjiang. Judging by their route, Xinjiang was clearly unlikely. That left only Tianhai City. I have indeed incurred too much hatred, making them desperate to kill me. But having survived this harsh apocalypse until now, do you truly believe I can be so easily eliminated? A cold smile curled at the corner of Zhang Yi's mouth. Fear? Yes. Fear that made his body tremble slightly, though not entirely from dread. There was also excitement. An unprecedented battle was imminent. Adrenaline surged through his veins, the body's natural stimulant unleashing energy beyond ordinary limits. Fearing death was human nature. Yet only through combat could one seize a chance to survive. The main force of the Wulwan Empire swept across the ocean like a raging storm, heading straight for Tianhai City. Their target was now indisputable. Countless eyes around the world were fixed upon this place. Even in distant Neon, two ethereal figures materialized, watching the developments from afar. So someone finally couldn't hold back and decided to make their move? Who are they? Old acquaintances? Uncertain. An utterly unfamiliar aura. Were they among those who attacked us before? Who can say? That history is too distant. We've long forgotten. The annals of time are nearly eroded clean. Excellent. Let these bold souls test God's will. Beneath the night sky, a black suit of armor swept across the horizon, churning the entire sea into towering waves that crashed skyward. Even the creatures dwelling in the boundless ocean fell silent, overwhelmed by its overwhelming pressure. Xinjiang. The heavenly swift star, Daisheng, was ready. Shang Daowen's eyes flashed with coldness as he waved his hand. Teleportation. Begin. A silvery glow emanated from his body, gradually enveloping everyone present. Far away in Tianhai City, Zhang Yi had gathered all his forces. They sat quietly atop Tianhai TV Tower, the city's landmark, awaiting the arrival of both allies and foes. The first to arrive were Newton and his subordinates. Whoosh! One figure after another materialized out of thin air. All 36 heavenly spirits were present. Upon landing, they immediately scattered in all directions like birds and beasts. Next, the mutants from various regions arrived in this area in the blink of an eye. Each found their companions, their eyes sharp as they gazed toward the distant, pitch-black sea. The night wind howled madly as a terrifying killing intent approached from the distance. Zhang Yi narrowed his eyes, waiting silently for something. Suddenly, a brilliant flash erupted in the distant sky, then plummeted toward the ocean like a meteor. In that instant, it was as if 10,000 suns appeared simultaneously on the sea surface. A terrifying radiance blossomed, and an intense heat swept out in all directions. Zhang Yi and his companions had prepared in advance, using the tactical helmets of their combat suits to block the blinding light. Far off in the distance, a colossal mushroom cloud slowly rose into the sky, soaring tens of thousands of meters high. Humanity's most formidable weapon, the Reaper of Love, specifically the highest-level variant currently stockpiled by the Huashu Kingdom, had been launched from Blizzard City in the Jiangnan region, hurtling straight toward the waters 500 nautical miles off Tianhai City.